Barones.
Present.
Bolin.
Present.
Gathing.
Present.
Lopez.
Present.
Verret.
Present.
Williams. Yancey Smith.
Present.
7 present, and we have a quorum. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Wait a minute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, moving into the superintendent's report. We have good news.
We do have good news. Dr. Gonzalez will be giving us the good news this evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have 2 items of good news to share with everyone this evening. District-wide, we want to thank the New Jerusalem Seventh-day Adventist Church of Bradley, Illinois, for their generous donations of shoes, food, gift cards, book bags, and school supplies in support of our Kankakee district students and families. Also, recognition for our early childhood program. Our little learners had a wonderful time with the fire department. They practiced fire safety, and they learned a lot about that. The firefighters did an outstanding job of teaching our little ones safety tips, showing them the fire truck, which is always fun, and engaging with our students. The children loved meeting their local heroes, and we want to thank our fire department for keeping our children safe and for our amazing director, Ms. Powell, for her leadership.
Thank you.
And that is the good news.
Before you leave, I want to personally, and I think on behalf of the board, congratulate you and thank you for the hard work on the Friday night historic, or the heritage presentation. It was wonderful. You had a packed house, and that's saying a lot, but congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Okay, next we have proclamation. I will read it. Whereas each year October is designated National Principals Month in recognition of principals, assistant principals, and other school administrators for their outstanding efforts to providing a quality education for every child. And whereas National Principals Month is a time to highlight the belief that the key to student success is a great school, and the key to a great school is a great principal. And whereas our school administrators are some of the hardest working yet often least recognized individuals who deserve praise and attention for the day-to-day operation of their school, which includes leading the instructional program and working to ensure that the school building is conducive for excellent teaching and learning in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas we're extremely proud of our principals and assistant principals in Kankakee School District 111, and we appreciate their continued dedication to our vision of inspiring success and a lifetime of caring, and also promoting the value of public school education. Now therefore be it resolved, the Kankakee School District Board of Education is pleased to join the other boards of education across the United States in proclaiming October 2024 as National Principals Month, and invite the community of Kankakee to join, and the Kankakee School District to join in acknowledging, supporting, and thanking our school administrators for the care and concern they show for the children and families in our public schools. Be it further resolved that this proclamation be made a part of the minutes of the Board of Education adopted this 14th day of October 2025. I need a motion to approve that proclamation.
So
Motion by Mr. Williams.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gathing. Been a long day. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
And Mrs. West is going to come up.
Okay. Do you want to present? I'll present it.
No, you go ahead. Mrs. West is going to say a few words on behalf of our school leaders, and then we'll have our school leaders come up so we can take a photo of them. They are so excited to take a picture. I see their smiles.
And I'm very excited to speak today. I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the administrators for
for celebrating everyone this month. It's an honor and a privilege to serve you and to serve the families and students of Kankakee School District.
Thank you. Thank you.
Principals, if all the principals can come up, please. And so Ryan will take the picture of the principals. Your hair looks great.
Okay, at this time, we're having a presentation on their partnership with Kankakee Community College.
Yes, I've asked Dr. Boyd, our president of Kankakee Community College, to come on up and just tell us a little bit about KCC. And sir, feel free, you can sit right there.
Absolutely happy for the time. Thanks for the invite. It's always exciting to talk about partnerships that we have in place. In your packet, you have what we call the partnership report. Hope you had a chance to review it. It's a report that we do honestly as a conversation starter more than anything. And so what you'll see there is a snapshot of your 2023 graduating cohort. So those are just reflective of your 2023 grads in comparison with all of the schools within what we call our community college district as well. So you'll just see a few snapshots of comparison there, and then some information about what programs your students went into, at least from that graduating cohort. And then that snapshot on the bottom and to the right of the report there that talks about some of the partnerships we have in place, including dual enrollment, early college, and dual credit. Again, just a snapshot of that 2023 cohort and some fun information on the backside so you can see us bragging a little bit about the college and what we're doing. I say it's a conversation starter because we're available to you, Dr. Lance, at any time. And for your board, if there's more information, this is an invitation. And so we can certainly find more information about your graduates, how they do when they come to Kankakee Community College. And we would love to share that, have a conversation, have dialogue with you about what those data mean. And I think even in the last couple of weeks, you and I have dove into these data a little bit more. So I'm happy to have any conversation. We're very excited about the partnership. We're very excited about the future and what we're going to do going forward as well. Happy to have any conversation that you would like to have about Kankakee Community College, our partnership, what some of these data mean on this report, and then, like I said, it's a conversation starter. So we're eager to get you the other things that you need. Dr. Lance knows how to be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we really appreciate your being here, Dr. Boyd. It means a lot, and the excitement comes from this side as well. We appreciate what you do for our students, both while they're here and after they leave.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege to do so.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any
And
other?
I know we have the partnership, Dr. Brass is back there. I know you all have a really close relationship. Our goal now is how do we continue to increase enrollment, especially when we think about our students being able to graduate with their associate's degree before they even receive their high school diploma. So that's the goal, that's the push, along with, I know we have a meeting coming up with Goshen, so we can talk about that, and Nucor.
That's right.
So more
Great.
on the horizon.
Great.
I just want to thank you, at least from the staff point of view. Going to the early childhood meetings, I know that there is a great partnership with staff in helping paraprofessionals and pushing some of those early childhood into our early childhood programs. So thank you for not only supporting our students, but also supporting our staff and helping them get in that career path of education. So I greatly appreciate that site as well.
Again, it's a privilege, so
Thank you.
whatever we can do.
Anybody else? Thank you again for being here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Appreciate
Dr.
it.
Boyd.
Next, we're having a report from Student Services and Diverse Programs.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Lance, colegas, and community. We want to open up this evening's Student Services and Diverse Programs report with a few notes of gratitude. We want to thank every teacher, related service provider, staff member, and school administrator who serve our special education students and families through our special education programs and services. Also, a very special note of gratitude to our district special education team, Dr. Clody, for her leadership. I don't have a background in special education, and so I learn a lot from Dr. Clody every day. Also, Mr. Nate Ortman, can you please stand? So, Mr. Ortman has been with our district for 13 years. 12 years. And he is among Kankakee's finest. He continues to serve our special education students in his capacity as our coordinator, and our students are very lucky to have you, Nate. So thank you for everything that you do. We also want to thank Evelyn, Amber, and Sierra. Thank you for supporting our teachers in the classroom. So this is our district SPED team. Thank you, Nate. Lastly, I'd like to thank Ms. Tony Jordan, Ms. Melissa Collette Duty, Curtis Young, Dr. Stephanie Morgan Harris, and Dr. Brecky for volunteering their time and talent to serve on our strategic plan RFP committee. And with that, I am super stoked to provide an update on our strategic plan RFP. So on behalf of the Strategic Plan RFP Committee, we are excited to recommend Performance Fact as our district strategic planning partner. Very briefly, our process, we issued a call to committee, and we had a diverse committee that answered the call. Our diverse committee was made up of multiple vantage points, so we had a teacher perspective, we had one of our SEL coaches perspective, we had the perspective of two district leaders, and we had the perspective of a school administrator. So we wanted that 360-degree view as we were reviewing the proposals. The first session, we reviewed the proposal, and we used a scoring rubric to rank our top 3. From there, we moved these finalists to their presentations, and from there, we narrowed it down to 1 nomination, and we submitted our recommendation to the superintendent. The reason why Performance Fact, it was its top choice. We had an overwhelming majority support Performance Fact as our partner. They just stood out. They were aligned to our mission. They went deep into their discussion of equity. They have a whole system and approach to that. They are grounded in evidence, and they talked a lot about outcomes. You don't hear that often, as strange as it sounds. You don't hear that as often when we're talking about strategic planning, but they focused a lot on outcomes and how to shift adult practices to deliver outcomes for students. So for those reasons, Performance Facts stood out to our committee, and we are recommending them to the board. Any questions? Okay. Moving on to our special education update. Student Services and Diverse Programs, our team, SSDP. So just a reminder, there are 4 departments, and our special education team is one of those departments. What do? We remove barriers and create pathways for students to access high-quality, grade-level instruction. And so this is our team, headed by Dr. Clody, Nate Ortman, our coordinator, and our instructional coaches and our behavior specialist. And I am an honorary member of all of our departments, and so I just, kind of slipped my picture in there. Similar to our multilingual presentation last month, very quickly, let's review the rules of engagement as we dive into some of our special education data. Just a reminder, this is not a calling out, but this is a calling in for our community. So let's be forward thinking, let's focus on systems, not the people, and let's focus on ourselves and how we either directly or indirectly contribute to the systems for improvement as we move forward. And so with that, I am proud to pass the baton to my co-pilot, Dr. Clody.
Good morning. We wanted to first thank Dr. Gonzalez for all of her support this year. Did I say good morning? It's been a long day. Mr. Boland's point, it's been a long day. It is bright in here. We wanted to thank Dr. Gonzalez for all of her support this year. It has been, an interesting 9 weeks into the school year, and we could not do what we do without a full team, and we just appreciate all that she does for our department. So before we jump into some of the demographics, we wanted to start with our why. So an enormous kudos to K's Media last year that captured this at the Boilermaker Games. We just went last week. We don't have the video together for this year yet, but we wanted to share the video from last year. So as you can see, the passion that day brings, we just love that day. As Cody shared, it is the best day ever. And we just appreciate that BBCHS puts that event on. If we go to the next page, we have several additional just extensions from the classroom. And we just wanted to pause again just a minute just to share our why. So the top, our transition program was able to visit Mayor Curtis's office. The focus of our transition program is really to extend those skills into the community. We went and visited Judge Jones last year as well. We do a lot in the community just to generalize the skills and prepare our students for post-secondary education or post-secondary experiences. The bottom right is similar to that of what BBCHS puts on. This is something that District 53, Bourbonnais, shows. It happens in the spring with our junior high students. And it's just a day of celebration of inclusion and all that our students can achieve. On the left, on the bottom, that is one of our living and learning classrooms. A large focus of our living and learning instructional classrooms is generalizing those skills into the community. And so in this picture, our staff had gone to Perry Farm with our students. And it's just a great reminder of why we do what we do. So we wanted to start with that before we get into demographics. So with that, we're going to start with just a basic overview. We're going to take just about 5 to 10 minutes to review through. If at any point, sometimes I talk in special ed lingo. I know some of you at the table understand that, some do not, so please stop me if I get started and talk too fast. But some of our demographics just related to our special education department. So we wanted to start with the definition of what special education is. So special education in schools is driven by IDEA. There is a two-prong eligibility criteria for special education. The first one is that our students must meet one of the eligibility criteria in the 13 disabilities that are present in Illinois. The second prong is that disability must adversely affect the student's educational performance. And so oftentimes, if a child comes in with a medical diagnosis, let's say of autism or ADHD, parents assume that child will automatically receive services. that second prong requires that adverse impact in the classroom. So we wanted to just pause before we jump in and truly define what it is that we look for. So looking at demographics, and I know this chart is somewhat small, I believe that you have access to this, and again, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. There are 3 high incidence disabilities that are notated here. The top disability in our district is specific learning disability. 24.5% of our students with disabilities are eligible underneath SLD. The other 2 high incidence disabilities are that of speech and language impairment and developmental delay. That makes up about 60 to 70% of our students' needs in district. The low incidence disabilities are acknowledged on here. The only disparity that we have in accordance with the state average is our intellectual disability. Right now, the state average is about 4.4%, and we are about 11.1%. There's a lot of factors that go into that. We have a lot of programming in district, whereas other districts in the area just don't. And so we're very blessed to afford our students those opportunities. And I truly believe that parents move to the district to allow their children those services as part of our continuum. But this is what the breakdown in district is. If we look at the next slide, this outlines our identification rate. So if you look on the bottom right, our rate is and has been within the last 4 years lower than the state average. So we right now are sitting at 13.9% compared to the state average, which is 16%. What this means is these are the percentage of students that have been found eligible for special education services in the district. The next page talks to our continuum of services. So if we look at the chart, the second line to the left, it talks to the continuum of services. This is the language, just so we can use common language, this is the language that we use for our placement options in district and out of district. So as we look at the co-teaching or the resource class, we look at that through a targeted intervention lens. This is the least restrictive of all of the environment options that we would have. Statutory-wise, this means that the students are inside the gen ed setting over 80% of the day. And as you look at the 2 columns on the right, that indicates that we are consistent with the state data in both of those. If we go down one, we look now at a more restrictive placement, and then it goes so on and so forth as you go down the chart. So the second line down is our instructional placement. This is when our special education teachers typically become what we call the teacher of record for students, and that special ed teacher serves in that main role of delivering instruction for both reading and or math. As you look to the right, we are below the state average significantly in that area, which is contrary to the following line, which is the most restrictive in district, and that's more of our living and learning classrooms. These are classrooms to where the students typically have more adaptive needs in addition to their academic needs. We're actually slightly above the state average in that area. And then the last line are those students that are educated outside of the school building in which they would attend if they did not have a disability. We are below the state average. Our percentage right now is 3.5% of our students in comparison to the 6.7 state average for that continuum. The next 4 slides speak to the performance data, both in reading and in math. So the first 2 slides are at the elementary level. Our reading data and the math data are both consistent. And Dr. Gonzalez has spoken to this both tonight as well as when she overviewed the EL department. This is our current data. We have done a lot to work department-wise in the last couple of years. Right now, we have about 68% of our elementary students in both the area of reading and then the next slide in the area of math that are not meeting standards. We have 32% that either partially met, approached, or met or exceeded the expectations. The data is similar at the high school level. So those are the next 2 slides. At the high school level, we have 87% of our students are partially meeting in reading versus 13% are approaching in reading. And then the math is an area of definite opportunity for our high school to where we have 100% of our students who are partially meeting. I wanted to take a quick pause just to talk a little bit about what we have done in district to alleviate and remediate some of these struggles. 2 years ago, we started with analyzing the curriculum that we were using in the instructional classrooms. So at that point, we were just using the unique program, and we were not analyzing and focusing our standards against the gen ed expectations. And our department has done an amazing job the last 2.5 years, really leaning into what are the gen ed expectations and how can we align those into our instructional classrooms. That's critical. It's critical for us to raise the bar for our students with disabilities and to acknowledge that all of our students can succeed. We need to believe in them first and then raise that expectation. Since then, we have brought in instructional coaches. Evelyn Barnes, if you don't know her, she is one amazing soul. She's done a phenomenal job this year. And then we also have Amber Scarpelli, who has joined our team this year as well. Sierra Hazelit joined us about a month and a half ago. She's our new behavioral consultant. As most of the board members know, we did lose our BCBA last year. It's been difficult to find a replacement. Sierra's done an outstanding job and has helped us to meet those social emotional needs so we can get our kids in a place of preparation so we can really focus on the academic focus on them. A couple of additional changes that we made this year, the APs are leading the charge in each of their buildings, and Nate and I are walking alongside of them. Penny Sylvester is helping at the high school level. Our APs are doing an outstanding job. We just met with them again today for our monthly meeting, just to talk about what struggles are you seeing, how can we continue to help model. But that allows for building representation and building oversight so that day in and day out, if our special ed teachers need that support, our APs and our principals are right there to help them lead them along. The last thing that I think is really assisted, Dr. Lance started walkthroughs with us last year, and it provided an emphasis so that we could align what our expectations are to that which is happening in the classroom. And the data indicates that we are moving in the right direction for our students, so this is our baseline data. We look forward to future data to show growth in that. The last thing to talk about is related to, and I know that I'm probably almost out of time, I'm going to go quick, so stop me if you have questions. We do have an alternative assessment within the special education world that is called the DLM. And so within Illinois, 1% of our total special ed population can take this assessment. You can go up to 2% with a waiver. 2.5 years ago, we were over 8% of our students. We are now at 1.7%. Again, our department, I overviewed this about 2 years ago and said this just can't happen. We have to raise expectations. And our department rose to that level. The quick eligibility, the IQ, it lists 70. It really needs to be underneath 55. Same thing with adaptive scores. And then it needs to be determined by an IEP team. But this information is set aside by the Illinois State Board of Education. So as we look at our DLM, both for math and reading, in math, we met 4 of the last 6 years. And then if we go to the next slide, Dr. Gonzalez, in the area of reading, we've met 2 of the last 6 years. So I do know that the state is looking at changing this tool. We have really leaned into training for our staff to ensure that this tool is being used as it's intended. It's a highly scaffolded assessment. But we're just focusing on training for our staff. The last piece of data that we have, OSEP, which is the Office of Special Education at the federal level, they require indicators each year. And so there are several indicators in Illinois that we look at. It's provided yearly. The biggest focus within this report is that of disproportionality and strict adherence to OSEP regulations. That's what guides our IDEA grant, and the grants that we receive from the federal level flow through to Illinois. So if we go to the next slide, these are the areas that the state has leaned into the last couple of years. Our graduation rate right now for our children with disabilities is 60% compared to the 79% at the state average. Some of the other things that the state looks at is the early childhood service delivery settings, meaning what environment are we servicing students and making sure that we truly are educating our students in the least restrictive environment. We're looking at secondary transition compliance. A huge shout out to our team here at Avis, Rhonda Cox, Andrea Molina, Angela Shea, and Kyra, who did an enormous amount of work last year on this. They're looking at suspension, expulsion, disproportionality, and then child find, which is an indicator of the district's responsibility to finding students who require special education services. So if we go to the next slide, overall, the last 2 fiscal years, we have met in totality on the indicator report. There has been a focus on the idea of Part C to Part B, which is the transition out of early childhood into the schools. That you have to meet with 100% accuracy. And then the second one for the year before was the child find. Both of those are really in due to the lack of psychologists that we have in the district. Our psychologists have done a phenomenal job. There are just only so many of them. So we're working at remediating that, and we just appreciate the growth that we've seen in that area. So to end, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to our entire department. The last 2.5 years, anytime I've asked them to challenge themselves, challenge their thinking, they have risen to the occasion. It's easy to lead amazing people, and thankfully that's what I am blessed with within the department.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes. I'm looking at the report and I see a lot of the good things are in the junior high and high school. But my focus has always been K-3. And we're still struggling K-3. And I want to know, what are we doing and what plans are we having to raise the scores, to give the kids a good foundation so they don't have to learn them? Because right now, they're learning their foundation 4th and 5th grade.
Correct.
When they should be learning their foundation K-3.
Correct.
And, hold on, let me finish.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Somebody say something?
No,
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, but my thing is, what changes are we gonna make to make sure the kids actually learn how to read? Because we're so focused on math that we're not really focusing on reading. And when they get in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, it goes from word problems, it goes from number problems to word problems, and they can't understand really how to do it, and that's when the test scores go down.
Sure.
So what are we doing? Are we working on vocabulary? K-3?
Special ed.
No, I'm talking about the whole thing. I'm not talking about just special ed.
So I think that, so Evelyn,
I'm lumping the whole thing together. I understand special ed. I understand what you're doing. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the test scores, K-3 is suffering.
so I'm happy to address the special ed piece of that, Dr.
Yeah,
Lance. I don't know that I
okay.
want to speak. I'm trying to stay in my lane with that.
Okay,
We-
I got you. But I just wonder,
We do work in heavy part with Kim Starkey, who facilitates the student SSS, Student Special Services. I've teased her so many times about what it means, I'm blanking on the true meaning of it. And so she is focusing this year on drafting the MTSS manual. And special ed has had a heavy presence within that analysis because it all boils down to data. And so as we're looking at our students and really ensuring that their growth in reading is where we would expect it, we have to understand how to take data, we have to understand how to analyze data, and then those students that are not making the progress that we would want to see, we have to understand how to remediate those struggles. And so as we look at the MTSS model in the past, we typically have just done tiered support without focusing on where is the true need. So is it phonemic awareness? Is it reading comprehension? And so I think once we roll out that manual in tandem with our child find responsibilities, I think we'll be able to give greater depth to that answer. But Dr. Lance, I don't want to speak outside my lane, but that's probably my simple answer. Happy to talk with you more after the meeting, if that would be appropriate.
I think you did an amazing job, Dr.
Okay.
Clody. So we all know that Mr. Williams is a huge proponent of reading. I've tried to respond to this question as best I can, so I'll try it one more time. So reading is not just for an ELA or reading teacher. It really has to be every single teacher, every single grade, content, that there is literacy embedded across the content area, and that is one of our academic priorities in Kankakee School District. Literacy across every content, every grade. I would also say next month, Dr. Gilbert is going to give a presentation on some of our data, because that's one of the board agreements, that you get that data quarterly. But you'll see, and not to take away too much from that presentation, that just the opposite, Mr. Williams, our elementary schools are doing a really good job of increasing our students' reading levels, in particular at K-3. It's at the secondary level where we need to really emphasize that reading, writing doesn't stop. So I just wanted to point that out for you, and you'll hear more about the data next month.
Anybody else? Any other board member?
I do.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank Special Education Department of Transition. Most people know that that's a couple of my heartbeats in education, so I love SPED Department. I love transition. So just want to thank you all for your hard work. It's a lot of work. It's, you know, it's a lot. So I do it every day at home, so I get it. So I appreciate everything you all do, helping our students, and appreciate you all being patient with us, even when you were being displaced at times. Thank you all for being patient. And so we just thank you all for everything you are doing.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to finance. Mr. Sykes will be helping us out with that. Excuse me.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
I didn't say good morning, so that's a start. It's actually a good Tuesday. Even more so than that, it's a Victory Tuesday, right? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Bears won last night. We need to celebrate victories, big and small. That is applicable to Kankakee School District as well. We've got to celebrate everything that we can. Before I get started with the exciting finance piece, I just want to draw attention to a packet that is in your packet from Baker Tilly. Basically, it's just an overview of the audit process. Read it whenever you get a chance, not too much to it. As the audit progresses, we will update the board, and I will echo the same sentiment as Mr. Neal. We are very hopeful, more so than hopeful, confident that we'll get timely returns on this audit compared to last year, that's for sure.
Great.
Good.
So there's only a few things that I really want to touch base on. I think it was 2 months ago that I spoke to you guys for the first time and talked about how this will look better as the year goes on. Just want to point out, even though it's really blurry for me, revenues, we're at 34 million right now. Expenses paid, 16 million. So that's a good trend that we could focus on. As we take a look at the budget tracking report, the beginning fund balance was 27 million. Ending fund balance is 44.8. What I want to point out here is when we take a look at revenues received, we have received 38% of what we anticipate, compared to only 18% of the expenditures. So that is something that we're going to have to continue to pay attention to. What I want to point out on this is when we take a look at last year compared to this year. That's the right side. Our expenditures are down $3.2 million. Tell me to say it again, please.
Say it again.
One more time.
We are down $3.2 million as far as expenditures go. Cash flow report, not much there. Fund balance report is kind of important, where we can, again, take a look at all the different funds, and we see the total of all funds, again, is $44.8 million. Lastly, we do have an action item where we are asking the board to agree for us to get rid of some excess surplus items that we have. That's part of board policy, so we will be asking you to do that.
Very good.
Any questions? Actually, there's one more that is upcoming. What's going to take place in November and December. Any
Okay.
questions?
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Sykes.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes.
Okay, moving on to public comment. Just a reminder that public comment, we ask you to give your name and direct your comments to the board. We will recognize members of the audience who wish to make comments to the board regarding any topics related to school district business. We will take all comments under advisement without discussion, which means we won't respond tonight. If a member of the public raises an issue or concern that requires follow-up, then I or the superintendent will do so in a timely manner. And please remain civil and make no personal attacks against any employee or appointed person or volunteer of the district. So, first person is, I can't read her signature, but I do know her face. It was Mrs. Mary Archie, our former board member, has asked to speak to us tonight.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
To Dr. Lance, our superintendent, and Mr. Boland. Oh, you can't hear me? Sorry. And Mr. Boland and the rest of the board. I just have one question. I would like for you to let me know the results of the audit that was done on Dr. Janera Walters. I know you can't answer me tonight, so I'll be looking forward to hearing from you in the near future. You guys have a blessed night.
Thank you. We have Robert Ellington Snipes. While you're walking up, I do want to acknowledge Barbara Wells, our former president. Nice to see you and appreciate your being here. That's okay.
To the Board of Education and Dr. Lance, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just have, I'll get that book in a minute, but just have something that I need to etch into your consciousness and have you to just stir it up and consider. We speak of equity versus disparity. And so in this particular case, I want to drive you from the disparity to the equity. To hold the entire school hostage because of a student's allergy is fundamentally unfair to over 1,200 students and staff. The junior high was held hostage for over 2 years, and now the high school must be held hostage for 4 years. Over a year ago, I recommended to this board to create an allergy-free zone for those students who have aggressive allergies because it is not the allergic reaction that is fatal, but rather the response. Anyone working with or assisting a student with high allergic reactions need to be trained in the rapid use of administering epinephrine quickly at the onset of allergy symptoms because the risk of anaphylaxis is ever present. Therefore, allergic individuals should have access to epinephrine at all times. Anaphylaxis can kill within minutes. Epinephrine is the first-line treatment for anaphylaxis, and so doctors usually prescribe patients with food allergy epinephrine auto-injectors such as the EpiPen that we're familiarized with. Anyone working with students of high allergic reaction should be prepared to act quickly. We get this as part of the GCN training. But to hold the entire school, every student, every staff, to fasting from fish, peanuts, milk, or any other foods an individual may be allergic to is insensitive to the whole. Football games, basketball games, tennis, or any other sport gathering in addition to 180 days in school should not be held hostage or discriminated against, especially during religious holiday seasons such as Lent and Easter, where they're limited to fish. What happens when they pass the river, sit in a hospital, or in a restaurant? Should every place be allergy-free? This would be an impossible task or request. It is reasonable to simply have an allergy-free zone where students who have allergies can better be accommodated due to health reasons. The board needs to rethink, and I believe it has, by providing staff with those students the necessary training and GCN training, making all staff aware of how to administer the EpiPen if the need so arises. But to put all faculty, students, and staff under house arrest and involuntary fasting from their lunch or snack like tuna salad, salmon, or a little tilapia or catfish or crab legs or lobster every now and then is a stretch, and it's insensitive and embarks upon the rights of others. There must be some common ground. I'm allergic to ugly attitudes, but I don't hold all ugly attitudes hostage. Just something to ponder and think about. Me gusta pescada.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Snipes.
Next, we have Apostle Sam Jones.
It's good to be here tonight, Superintendent,
Good evening.
Chairperson, and board members. We all know what's happening within our nation, and there's a crisis going on. And because there's a crisis, I believe in the power of prayer, that God could do anything. But still, you got to have a plan. And we know that the Department of Education, as of December the 31st, 26, will be eliminated. That's already been passed through the Congress and the Senate. President Trump already signed the bill, so that's done. You know, 80% of the secondary students and all of that are coming, 80% are in the school system. This program, what they're trying to initiate from Project 2025, was initiated during Reaganomics. And basically with Bush, the charter school and money going towards the charter schools. In the private schools, $500 million has already been allocated for chartered schools. And that means it's cutting back on funds that would normally go to the public schools. So somehow, in a sense of what's happening with the plan of Project 25, also the Civil Rights Department is going to be totally eradicated from the Public Health Department, as well as the government as well. I'm the CEO and president of Family Support Christian Network. We have developed a ladder for Congress, for senators, because a lot of times, a lot of the individuals that are John Doe's and Sue Doe's don't know how to present a letter. And they don't know what to say. So the executive orders, we give them the executive orders, we pre-write the letters for them, they send it to the senators and the congressmen to defend the money for the school system. And anyone that's here that want us to help with that, your organization, to give it to your people, we could do that. But now you said to take a village to raise a child. Well, we're at that stage now, because what's going to affect our nation, we're not quite prepared for it. I've been preaching this for a little while. The superintendent, you've been to some of our meetings. You've seen the leaders come together, and I invited her sometime to be a special guest. But again, if we do not pull together and start addressing this issue as a community, and I guess my concern is, what are we doing now to pull the community together from the department up here dealing with the executive board, and how can we work together, because these funds are already being cut. 400 some, I think it's 200 some people already been laid off from the Department of Education, up to 400 now. And what they're trying to do is make sure there's a minimum amount of people to handle any situation, so everything get caught up in the bureaucratic system. So somewhere along the line, if we got division among each other, if we don't like each other, I think we got to put all differences aside, no matter if Hispanic, Latino, African American, Asian, whatever. Somewhere along the line, we got to be able to come together and address these issues with the mayor, with the governor, and everyone else, because if not, the school system will be closing down, because every student represents a dollar amount. And you take every student away from the system, that really helps support the teachers. And so I'm willing to work with the school district and do whatever we can. We're doing it anyway, because we value the children. We don't talk about to do it, We're not trying to put it in the newspaper. All of our people that's on my committee, they're getting this information, and they're getting response from the citizens, the senators and the congressmen. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. We need to hold them accountable because they don't want to make the final decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that any board member request be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Williams. Any questions, debate, or discussion regarding any item on the consent agenda? If not, please call the roll.
Gathing,
Did you say?
Yes. Yes.
Did you want to make a comment?
I'll do it when it's time.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to abstain for number 8.
Okay.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes. So 6 ayes on all items, or excuse me, 7 ayes on all items except number 8, and that would be 6 ayes and 1 abstention. The consent agenda is passed. Congratulations to those of you who have been hired and are joining the team in District 111. We have action items tonight. We have an approval of a contract with Rise and Thrive. Is there a motion to approve that contract?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Baronis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gathing. Any discussion, debate, or questions?
I just want to thank Rise and Thrive. Your organization is so special and so needed, so thank you, thank you, thank you to you and your staff for everything you do for our students.
Okay. Any other discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes. 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Next is approval of disposal of the surplus equipment that was discussed by Mr. Sykes from the it's equipment from the early childhood programs. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Next is the approval of the contract with the Performance Fact, Inc. for the school district strategic plan. This is the first step towards moving towards working on a strategic plan.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Yancey Smith. Any questions, discussion, or debate? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Williams,
Yes.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. Last is approval of an agreement that the superintendent and the school board has come to, has worked through and agreed. It deals with processes and communication between the board and the superintendent. Is there a motion to approve that agreement?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gathing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion, debate, or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Yancey Smith,
Yes.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Bolin,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays. And Dr. Lance has pointed out, I skipped over number 2 on the action agenda, so if we would go back to approve.
Intergovernmental agreement.
What's that?
Yeah.
Go back to, it's an approval of the intergovernmental agreement between KASEC and Kankakee School District for audiological services, orientation, and mobility and vision. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Gathing makes the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams? Any discussion, debate, or questions regarding this contract? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Baronis,
Yes.
Gathing,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Verret,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Nancy Smith,
Yes.
Boland,
Yes, 7 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries. The rest of the agenda consists of information to be provided along with our next board meeting, which is November 8th. November 6th and 7th are parent-teacher conferences. I'm moving up the calendar here. October 17th is the end of the first quarter. So unless there's any other business to be brought before the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Williams,
Second.
Second.
seconded by Mr. Gathing. All in favor of